on this vote. You'll see it, but that's probably not until the day of the vote itself. So,
Senator Mitt Romney meets with Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson.
The Foo Fighters are canceling their Salt Lake City show after the death of their drummer.
So there was two vehicles involved.
A bus crashes into the Chevron gas station near Lavelle Edwards Stadium this morning. Welcome to Universe Live. I'm Samantha Burrell.
And I'm Brinley King. It's Wednesday, March 30th.
Provo Fire and Rescue has closed University Parkway after a crash outside Lavelle Edwards Stadium at 5 a.m. this morning.
A UVX bus crashed into a Chevron gas station and hit a hotel on University Parkway between University Avenue and Canyon Road.
They had an accident in the middle of the intersection, but the accident is still being investigated to find the exact cause of the accident.
The bus collided with a Ford truck in the intersection, causing the bus to hit and tip a Chevron gas pump and then crash into a motel. There were 5 people involved in the crash, the 2 drivers and 3 passengers on the bus.
Both drivers have been transported to the hospital and are being evaluated.
The motel was under renovation, so no one was inside. University Parkway is closed east of University Avenue and the intersection of Canyon Road and University Parkway as police investigate the accident.
Utah Highway Patrol says there has been an 82% increase in wrong-way crashes since last year. UHP released a compilation of their bi-weekly statistics on crashes and ticketing. All areas have increased when compared to last year. As of yesterday, UHP has dealt with 20 wrong-way crashes and has stopped 45 wrong-way drivers. It has pulled over 1,385 drivers going over 100 miles an hour. There have been 942 cases of drunk drivers, an increase of 319 statewide. There have been 65 crashes where people have died, 11 more than this time last year.
Provo Police is warning drivers to be more aware of motorcyclists. Provo Police say the cooperation from all drivers will reduce crashes and deaths. Because motorcycles are small, they face increased danger when they are in a crash. Police say cars can help keep motorcyclists safe by being aware of how motorcycles drive, like weaving through lanes and downshifting, which can dangerously lower a motorcycle's speed.
Senator Mitt Romney meets with Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson.
I'm not used to it.
well,
Senator Romney, Romney and Jackson met yesterday to discuss the nominee's qualifications and her experience. Jackson's history of handling cases has raised concerns with many Republican senators. Romney says that this discussion was helpful as he continues to review her records and testimony. He says that he has not come to a decision of how he will vote in Jackson's confirmation.
I think in the final analysis, we'll each be able to make our decision based upon our personal interviews with Judge Jackson and with the results that come from these hearings.
The Senate Judiciary Committee will reconvene April 4th to vote and advance Jackson's nomination to the floor. The final voting date has not yet been set, but leaders are hoping to hold it before the Senate's Easter recess beginning April 8th.
Utah joins a lawsuit to end the federal mask mandate. Utah and 20 other states are trying to end the federal mandate to wear masks while using public transportation. Currently, the mandate states masks must be worn on planes, trains, and ferries. The lawsuit was announced Tuesday by the Florida governor and the state attorney. The mandate is only in effect until April 18th, but the lawsuit seeks to end it immediately. The suit claims the mandate exceeds the authority of the U.S. Center for Disease Control.
The Foo Fighters are canceling their performance in Salt Lake after the death of their drummer. The band announced yesterday that they would cancel all upcoming tour dates, including their visit to Salt Lake City on August 8th. The band is taking time off to grieve the loss of their drummer, Taylor Hawkins. Hawkins' unexpected death was announced on Friday as the band was about to perform in Columbia. Hawkins was only 50 years old when he died. The cause of his death is still unknown. The band says they will take this time to heal and appreciate their memories with Hawkins.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is holding its annual General Conference this weekend. The conference will consist of 5 sessions, including a general women's session for women and young women Saturday evening. All the sessions will be streamed live on churchofjesuschrist.org, the General Conference YouTube channel, and the Gospel Library app. 3 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. These sessions are at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. on Saturday, and sessions at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Sunday. Latter-day Saint Charities is giving backpacks and school supplies to 1,500 children in Lebanon. The donation is part of the Union of Relief and Development Association's Back to School campaign. The campaign is meant to support equal opportunity for students and reduce dropout rates. Lebanon particularly has struggled with economic uncertainty, especially during COVID. Since October 2019, the average Lebanese child has attended school for 11 weeks due to schools being closed.
A Yale Law School professor speaks at BYU about healing American tribalism. Professor Amy Chua spoke at BYU about the factors contributing to the contributing divide in America. Chua shared her belief that social media, demographic transition, and economic class have all contributed to this tribalism that leads us to stick to our own groups.
When tribalism takes over a political system, that's when things get dangerous, because then you start seeing everything through your group's lens.
She emphasized that the way to heal this divide is to remember and protect what makes America special. Chua says America's identity as a place for multiracial groups and unifying patriotism is what makes the nation special.
BYU's law program ranks as the 23rd best graduate school in the nation. U.S. News ranked by BYU Law based on the program's reasonable tuition and low student-to-faculty ratio. This 6-point jump to 23rd from last year marks the highest U.S. News ranking to date for BYU Law. The #1 slot was given to Yale University, followed by Stanford at #2. Additionally, BYU Law was recognized for incorporating moral values into curriculum and its variety of joint degree programs and student organizations. BYU students are now advancing to the National Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition after winning at the regional level. The Regional Rocky Mountain Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition was hosted virtually by Regis University this weekend. It included 7 teams from the Rocky Mountain region. Students showed their skills by participating in a fake scenario where a company is under a cyber attack. The BYU team will travel to San Antonio, Texas in April for the national competition.
Spring has sprung, and the ski season is wrapping up. Nordic Valley and Cherry Peak resorts have already closed. Eagle Point and Beaver close this weekend on April 3rd. Snow Basin closes on the 10th. Powder Mountain will also close on April 10th. Alta, Brian Head, Deer Valley, and Park City Mountain all close on the 17th. But Alta has 3 bonus days at the end of April where it will open up again. Brighton, Springbird, Sundance, and Woodward Park City have not yet announced their closing dates. For more information on ski resorts closing, go to skiutah.com/snow report.
Utah Olympians and Paralympians that competed in Beijing and Tokyo will march in a homecoming parade on Friday. Athletes will parade down Main Street in Park City. The parade will be followed by a series of speeches and a concert with Lash LaRue. People can get photos and autographs with the athletes after the parade at Town Lift Plaza. The parade will begin at 5 p.m. and go until 6 p.m. Photos, autograph signings, and the concert is scheduled to go from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
A U.S. astronaut has returned to Earth after a record-setting spaceflight.
Touchdown. Touchdown confirmed at 6:28 a.m. Central Time.
We'll tell you how long he was in space.
A toxic haze hangs over Delhi, India, and chokes residents for the last 2 days. We'll show you what's causing the fumes.
The NFL is changing their playoff overtime rules. We'll tell you how the organization plans to reduce the role of luck.
Take a look at this massive wildfire. We'll tell you where it is and how it got so big. Baby, you see, I cannot set you free. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you
Jeff Foxworthy here. You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
NASA astronaut Mark Vande Hei and 2 Russian cosmonauts who were on the Soyuz MS-19 spacecraft are back on Earth and in good shape.
Van Hay's 355-day mission was historic, breaking the record for the longest single spaceflight by a U.S. astronaut.
Mark Vande Hei and Pyotr Dubrov back home 1 year after leaving the planet.
The spacecraft landed in Kazakhstan Wednesday morning. Recovery crews were on hand to help the crew get out of the capsule, and the 3 astronauts will soon be headed back to their native countries. 4 million people have fled Ukraine, seeking safety in neighboring countries. According to the United Nations, the refugees started arriving in countries like Poland and Romania in late February after Russia launched its invasion over a month ago.
Firefighters in the Indian capital of New Delhi are trying to contain a fire at a landfill east of the city that's been burning for nearly 2 days. The blaze has been cloaking the area in a toxic haze, choking residents. Local media reports say the people living nearby said they experienced difficulty breathing and reported issues like itchy eyes and sore throat. Authorities have said they're close to extinguishing the fire, but have yet to determine the cause. e.l.f. Cosmetics is launching a makeup collection inspired by Dunkin's products. This unusual pairing has resulted in packaging that looks like a box of donuts. There's Dunkin' Dozen scented eyeshadow, 2 Glaze for Days lip glosses, and coffee-scented lip scrub, and makeup brushes shaped like straws. You can even get a makeup sponge that looks like a strawberry frosted donut with confetti sprinkles, and an e.l.f. Dunkin' branded coffee cup. The limited edition collection is available only to e.l.f. loyalty program members starting Thursday.
If you're wondering when gas and grocery prices will come down, the answer is probably not anytime soon.
In fact, some new government forecasts show might have to pay even more for those commodities in the coming months. Amy Kiley looks at the numbers.
New federal forecasts show food prices will likely keep climbing. The average cost of gas will stay high or may even rise. The USDA now predicts grocery prices will increase up to 4% throughout this year, and the average cost of dining out could set a new record. That's partly because Ukraine and Russia usually export a lot of the world's wheat and corn.
It will have global context impact beyond anything we've seen since World War II.
And China's new COVID-19 lockdowns are making it hard for supply chains to recover from the pandemic. Oil prices dipped a bit this week. That's after Russia said it would ease up its assault on parts of Ukraine. But
I think we should be clear-eyed about the reality of what's happening on the ground, and no one should be fooled by Russia's announcements.
It's called rockets and feathers, meaning when the price goes up of the price per barrel, that means your gas station price goes up like a rocket. When the price comes down per barrel, the gas station price comes down like a feather.
prices from the last month demonstrate what she's saying. Here they are for oil and gas. And here's a forecast into next year. U.S. oil producers aren't increasing drilling much to help. CEOs say investor pressure is restraining growth, according to a Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas survey.
Because of gas, we are, as of right now, no, we are definitely not taking our family vacation this year. It'll be more or less a trip to the lake.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The NFL made a rule change yesterday that could boost your team's chances in overtime.
Abby, what's next for the season?
If your team is great at throwing touchdowns but terrible at flipping coins, this new rule could change the game for you. When a game goes into overtime in the playoffs, both teams will be given a chance to score, instead of basing possession on a coin toss. Under the old rules, the game stopped as soon as one team scored a touchdown. The team that won the coin toss had an overwhelming chance of winning the game. We saw this last season when the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills in overtime thanks to their quarterback, but also a lucky coin toss that shut out the Bills' chance to score. The Indianapolis Colts and the Philadelphia Eagles introduced the change, which passed yesterday with a 29-3 vote. The new rule will only impact postseason games. There were 3 rule change proposals going into the meeting yesterday. Along with the new overtime rule, there's also a new guideline for free kick formations that will limit the number of players in the setup zone. Here's a closer look at the new overtime guidelines. There are 3 main parts. First, both teams will have the opportunity to possess the ball in postseason overtime. If the score is tied after both teams have had the ball, the next score wins. And if the team kicking off in overtime scores a safety on the receiving team's first possession, the team that kicked off wins. In the comments under the NFL's tweet, fans are divided. Some are all for it, but not this user who changed their username to "New OT Rule is Stupid" and says, "Let's just keep changing the rules until everyone gets a trophy." In response, Cynical Waffle is cynical and thinks it won't end up being that big of a deal. In any case, the next postseason games won't be until early next year, so we'll have to wait a while to see how this plays out and if the new rule will make it into regular season play.
A wildfire outbreak threatens almost 10 million people in the south after deadly tornadoes swept through the same region last week. This footage shows a growing wildfire in the Texas Panhandle and southwest Kansas. 3 wildfires merged to create smoke clouds so big they block out the sun. Emergency officials warn the fire's orange smoke can impact places more than 50 miles away. The governor of Texas has issued a disaster declaration in light of this continual threat from both fires and tornadoes. Here in Utah, we may get some precipitation to clean up the air and help with the outgoing drought. You can see on the radar here a weak high pressure is bringing in some moisture that'll accumulate overnight. We're not sure how much precipitation we will get, but seeing as how it will end by mid-morning, probably not a lot. If you're going out early tomorrow, you'll probably still want to bring an umbrella or a rain jacket with you. But if you love the rain, don't despair. Another chance for precipitation is coming early next week. Looking at our temperatures across the state today, we can see highs in the 50s and 60s, but looking at southern Utah is a different story. We can see tomorrow it will be 70s, and that strain will continue all throughout the week. We're looking at highs in the 70s and even 80s with that warm sunshine all weekend long. On the other hand, northern Utah is going to be a little bit colder, but still warmer than it usually is this time of year. We can see after the storm dissipates tomorrow, we're going to have a high of 55, and the rest of the weekend, that sunshine is going to stay the same. Highs in the 50s and 60s, lows in the mid-40s. So even though there's going to be a little bit of moisture, overall, it looks like it's going to be the perfect weekend to spend some time outside.
I loved last weekend, and I cannot wait for this weekend's weather.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so nice. I cannot wait.
For sure.
Now that Easter is around the corner, Cadbury is getting a new face for the festive chocolate.
Cadbury is letting America choose its new mascot for the Bunny Cream egg commercials. Cadbury holds the contest annually to choose who will promote their Easter candy. This year, an English doodle from Ohio named Annie Rose received the most votes. Annie is a therapy dog who visits local nursing homes. In addition to being Cadbury's big star, Annie Rose will take home $5,000 in cash, and of course, those iconic bunny ears.
Thanks for joining us today for Universe Live. For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu.
Have a great day, everyone.